Good evening. So this is a meditation group. And we come here and we sit. It also happens to be a Buddhist meditation group, hence the statue and chants and stuff. And we're in Jerusalem, which makes it all interesting. And I'm speaking in English. So that's just to keep it neutral, not take any sides. So the sitting we do in and also we've had a kind of tradition of being a Zen Buddhist meditation group. Jerusalem Zen Buddhist meditation group. The statue's from Sri Lanka though, so it's Theravada. But what makes the difference? Like, what's the difference? Now, what does it matter? When you're sitting, are you doing Buddhist meditation? What are you doing when you sit? So, often probably you find you're doing a lot other than sitting. There's a lot of interesting thoughts. Some of them are useful. Some of them are disturbing. Some are trivial. Some are very deep. Some seem to have great insight and seem, this could have only happened if I were sitting quietly. A Zen teacher I had once, Norman Fisher, said that Zazen, which is sitting meditation in the Zen tradition, is essentially a useless activity. I mean, that should not come as a surprise. Particularly because so much of the resistance we have to sitting quietly and not moving, especially when you're living a lay life, a non-monastic life, so much of the resistance we have is that nagging suspicion that we're wasting our time. Or there's other things that I should do first, and then when I have free time, I'll get to it. And free time never comes. Or if it does, there's something else to do. And behind that sense of kind of resistance is a doubt, a kind of skepticism. Like, I've been sitting for a while and still dealing with the same stuff. When is the change going to happen? When is it going to get easier? When is it going to get better? When is there going to be some, development? When am I going to feel like I'm really on the path? When is the light going to shine? So, breakthrough. Maybe we don't speak about it or think about it in really bombastic terms, but it may just be okay, or a bit of resistance, like I don't want to deal right now. I don't want to deal with my mind. That's what I really don't want to deal with. If you come to this practice and you come to this group, you're going to have to deal. There's Trungpa Rinpoche, the Tibetan master. He was famous for calling it the way of no escape. Meditation is the practice of no escape. Sometimes you may feel relaxed and peaceful. If that's your intention, you're going to stop. If you meditate once a week, it's kind of like eating once a week. You know, you'll feel full quickly, but it's not really going to help. It's not going to serve the function. It's not going to nourish you. You need a daily practice. There's no way around it. Ultimately, we need a continuous practice. We need to practice. We need to consider our lives our practice. Our Zazen, Dogen, Master Dogen, the 12th century Japanese founder of Soto Zen, he was quite sharp in insisting that in one of his famous writings, Zazen, he said, is not sitting meditation. And he went through a lot of what it's not. Kind of like the Heart Sutra. It's not this, it's not that. It's not breathing, it's not contemplation, it's not concentration, it's not peace, it's not all this stuff. That we have this practice, well, what is it then? Finally said, it's the Dharma gate of great ease and joy. Huh? Is that so? Well, he actually was right. But it's not the ease and joy that we think that there's a choice or a dualistic way of thinking, that there's pain and ease, that there's sadness and there's joy. In that sense of duality, of course, it's, you know, it's not peace and it's not ease and it's not joy. But in a non-dual sense, joy can exist with sadness. Ease can exist with pain. And that's the no escape aspect of our sitting. Like, can you find the ease with whom you are, even when what you're sitting with is painful or disturbing? And you can only do that if you stay put. You have to stay put. Okay? You simply have to do it. And that makes it a useless activity. If the point of your doing it is to gain something out of it, like I want to gain some joy and get rid of the pain. Okay? Then it's what Suzuki Roshi called the gaining mind. It's a gaining mind, right? And we bring that into our, you know, kind of an ulterior motive to our sitting. I want to get something out of it, and I want to get something out of me. Right? I want to get rid of the pain, discomfort, distress, anxiety, restlessness, irritation, boredom. I want to get rid of that. I want to gain Dharma gate of great ease and joy. If we see those parts of ourselves as incompatible, we're always going to be involved in the struggle of what one of the founders of Zen called, you know, the third patriarch said, you're picking and choosing. You know, Sangchen, one of the old masters, said, the great way is not difficult, just avoid picking and choosing. Can you do that? Where do you do that? It's not that you do it in your life. In life, outside of meditation, outside of formal practice, there's discrimination, there's, you know, choosing this and not choosing that. I mean, it's obvious. That's relative and that's normal. So we're not supposed to walk and say, just, you know, go in a restaurant and ask you what you want. Like, I'm not picky. Just serve me whatever. Yeah, it's foolish. Where do we practice non-picking and choosing? In your sitting. In your sitting, you open yourself fully and accept whatever comes. And then when you do pick and choose outside of that, it's not coming from a selfish need of, it's going to be good for me, but rather the intention is bigger, not about you anymore. It's not only about you. So when you do pick and choose, it has a different flavor. It has a different point to it. We're not even judging picking and choosing. But we want our picking and choosing, our discriminating mind, to be based on something bigger and wiser than just selfish needs. And in your meditation, the first thing you have to do, though, is just notice how much those selfish needs do define your thinking. And you just accept that. You let go of the struggle so that you can have compassion and selflessness and have a lot of selfish thoughts. In the same way that you can have pain and you can have ease, that you can have anger and you can have joy. Because you're letting go of the duality that it's one or the other. And that's the real picking and choosing. That we're picking and choosing who we think we should be. And that the disturbing states are incompatible with an enlightened life. Even the Dalai Lama says he still gets angry. It just doesn't control him. He sees it for what it is. Deep karmic habits of the mind that go back through lifetimes. So enlightened awareness does not erase that phenomena, doesn't reject it or even judge it, sees it for what it is. It's just self-centered energy. Okay. That's why the awareness, non-judgmental, non-discriminating, or just in simple terms, the non-picking and choosing awareness of your meditation, of your zazen, is compassionate, open, accepting, and kind. It's simply generous. The word generous, you should, embrace more in your practice. There are 6 paramitas, or great qualities, in Mahayana tradition. Theravada have 10. Shows they're kind of more developed. But the first one is called dana, or generosity, giving. We often think about it like, hey, the dana box is open, please give, help us. Great, that's nice. But the first place you practice dana is by being generous to accept your own mind. And you let go of the judgment and the struggle of saying you shouldn't be here, you shouldn't be here. Be generous. Your thoughts can be here, they have a place. Right? Just let them be. Suzuki Roshi said that zazen is like each breath, he said, and I put this in the quote this week, like a swinging door, okay, or a revolving door. Things come in and out, in and out, in and out. The door keeps revolving. Your breath, which is breathing in and out, it's a cycle that things come in, things go out, things come in, things go out. Keep the door revolving, otherwise, if you hold your breath or you hold your mind, it's going to be pretty uncomfortable if you don't open the windows and let the door keep revolving. The door of your mind, the door of your breath. Don't see your mind and breath as 2 separate things. See your mind and breath as one thing. So that when you're breathing in, you're receiving. When you're breathing out, you're letting go. And it's endless. As long as you're alive, that door is turning. Right? It's letting in generously and letting out. Right? So, that's the practice of dana. First and foremost, our zazen is an act of giving. You have to see your zazen, your practice of meditation, as being generous to yourself. You're giving to yourself. It's not something you should or have to do. It's not an obligation. It's a gift. You're being generous to yourself to let yourself be and not have to be something. how often do you fully accept and embrace from what you are now without thinking, should be more or less? It should be more or less. Less disturbance, more kindness, right? I mean, isn't that why we're here? We want to be less disturbed and more kind. That seems why you join a group or you take on a spiritual practice. That is true. And at the same time, the Dharma teaches us that you're realizing the nature of your mind. You're not constructing a new, better self, a better version. You're not making a better version. You're realizing the version that exists primordially in what you are all along. That is what Roshi calls the faith mind. Faith mind. It's the non-gaining mind that I want to get something out of this. Okay, I want to step back from everything being a means to an end. Zazen, first and foremost, is placing you here as already fully developed. As he said, each of you are perfect, or she said, and there's room for improvement. So we have that natural perfection. Does it mean if I need to sit that I'm not perfect? Not at all. It means you haven't fully realized your natural perfection. The path of awakening to what it means to be awake. Like when you're waking up in the morning, because you're not fully awake, it doesn't mean you don't exist. It just means you are not fully conscious of how you exist. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? No, it's not obvious? We'll check it out tomorrow morning. So this is a real wonderful opportunity, our Zazen practice. Our meditation practice, you should really take it, full-heartedly. And you should create a certain commitment and motion, movement, momentum, a bit of momentum in your life. That you feel like, I don't want to not do this practice because it is so vital to come back to the peace of arriving, of not needing to go somewhere else. Coming back home to being who and what I am and being fully accepted for that. The ideal of home is that sense of full acceptance. You don't need to be anyone, you don't need to achieve anything. If you fail, you'll be accepted back home. Because it's okay, try again. That's, the support will say that. So, some of us may not have grown up with that healthy environment. Okay. Our Zazen is creating your true home. Create the home that whether you had it or didn't have it, that you need to make for yourself. That sense of you are fully accepted for who and what you are now. No matter what happened during this day, you have a place here. And you can just drop it. You don't need to prove yourself. Like there's nothing to prove. So Zazen is that true home. Isn't that the essence of Dana? What more would you want to give to yourself? So each time you sit, you are practicing the paramita, the great enlightened quality of generosity, just in itself, without achieving anything. You sit, Dana. And we can't not mention the second paramita, which is patience. Can't not mention it. Patience goes with generosity. Generosity is like, I have arrived. Patience is saying, and I have to keep arriving. I have to keep arriving. I'm not done arriving. That's patience. I know there's a kind of inherent contradiction in that statement. Yes, it's true. I'm not done arriving. Okay? Arrival takes some effort and discipline to not always give in to the thoughts that want to do something else, achieve something else, and feel like, it's too hard. You're going to be arriving for the rest of your lives if you take this practice seriously. And that's a real patience. Yeah. See your meditation not in terms of this 1/2 hour, 1 hour, 1 week, 1 month, okay? Long term. Okay. Just this is your life. This is the rest of your life. Like I don't brush my teeth thinking, okay, it was a good brush today. Right? That's not how I think. But I think long term I'm taking care of my teeth. Long term. Right? I can miss a few days here or there. Okay, but long term this is what I need to do. And then I'll get old and I'll still have my teeth. I'll get old and I'll still have my mind, my awareness, my sanity. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay, is to die with an accepting awareness of who I am at that moment. And a full set of teeth. So, Suzuki Roshi, the Zen teacher, mentions 5 different minds, states of mind, that we are opening to in our zazen, our meditation. Okay? Zen meditation, which is called shikantaza, is translated as just sitting. Just sitting. Okay? Just sitting is so simple that it's actually quite difficult. The simplicity of it makes it difficult because we want something to do. And if meditation is useless, there's not much to do. You're sitting quietly, you're still, you're breathing consciously, and you are opening your mind to accept whatever comes in without focusing on it in a following way. You don't want to develop anything that happens, but you don't want to miss anything. So where's that balance of being open and observing, but not starting to develop what you do notice? Because then you're getting involved in going from observing your thoughts to actively thinking them. And you have to have the mindfulness and the alertness, being alert, being awake, to notice in that moment that I've gone from observing something to starting developing it. And the minutes go by and I think, oh yeah, that was a good plan I just came up with for the rest of my day. That was developing thought. I wasn't just observing it. And that's going to happen again and again and again. And you notice that without judgment. It's like, yeah, there's my habitual mind back. Now I'm back. Okay? Shikantaza takes it to a slightly opener place, though. That's traditional mindfulness, especially in a vipassana kind of approach. But Shikantaza has a subtle shift where the mindfulness is not so directed. It's not so like I want to see it, observe everything. There's something a little technical sometimes in the way meditation is taught with mindfulness meditation. Observe the thoughts, observe the sensations, notice everything. It's kind of like a light beam. It's like, did you get that? Did you get that? I've had interviews. Interviews, I don't mean like news interviews. You go on a retreat and you have what's called an interview, meaning you sit with your teacher and they ask, and now it's with Burmese master, Sayadaw U Pandita. And he asked me, okay, tell me what was going on in your meditation. And he wanted to know the detail of every single activity that I noticed. I failed. I failed at Burmese meditation. So I went to Zen, it was easier. But it's a useful and a precise training, okay, but it can involve a bit of tension and sometimes even anxiety, right? Like, you gotta really look. You also have to really relax, and you have to really open and accept. And instead of a laser beam, can you have the same strength of light, but can it be wide so that it includes the whole room? So think of an aperture of a camera that is really like, you know, telescopic. You know, the smaller the hole is, the farther it sees. You know, it's a small beam. But if you open that aperture, right, you can let in more, okay, to get a sort of a macro lens, so you can see a wide angle lens. That's kind of the attitude in shikantaza, of just sitting. Because I'm not focusing on the minutiae, like this moment by moment detail, but I'm just going to observe as a sort of an open planetarium view. Sometimes think of the mind like a planetarium. You ever sit in a planetarium? You know what a planetarium is? Like it's got that dome, and you see it's like this. You're looking at all the stars. And then you do notice things happening, but you still, the only reason you can notice that over there is because you are seeing the whole thing. So think of your awareness a bit like that, planetarium view. You're seeing the whole sky, and you notice when a shooting star goes by. You notice the shooting star because you have the whole sky in view. Okay? But you're not just looking at that one star, otherwise you'll miss what's going on over there. So you need both. But the ease and the relaxing is just to sit back and look at the whole view. And shikantaza is that sense of openness of the whole view. So you want your mind to relax and just open to everything you see, if your eyes are open, hear, smell, taste, touch, okay? And what is that? No eyes, ears, no tongue, body, mind, no color, sound, smell, taste, touch phenomena. What does that mean? Doesn't that contradict this, what I'm saying, as an instruction? No. The no eyes, ears, tongue, the no color, sound, smell means that I'm not getting involved in my ideas about these color, sound, smell, touch. I'm not making a story out of them or getting a sense of self. I'm staying with the moment. That it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. But I'm not making it into a narrative. Staying with this moment. So, in our shikantaza, right, cultivate the open big view and don't miss the details. That's the balance we have here, okay? And when you start noticing that it's becoming just kind of foggy and nice and big, the breath brings you back to something, you know, real, this moment. Breath is what keeps us from getting lost. Alright? Because it's happening here, and it's happening now, and it's in your body, and not just in your headspace. So, use your breath as a way of being real. That's pretty much the purpose of the breath. Keeps you real, keeps you sitting real. The 5 states of mind that Roshi talked about were the non-gaining mind, which means we're sitting just for the sake of sitting, not for the sake of anything else. Your sitting is complete as it is. It's not to turn you into a Buddha, okay? Not to get rid of anything or not to gain anything. It is what it is, non-gaining mind. If it's a non-gaining mind, that's also dana, that's generous. You don't want anything out of it, you're sitting as an act of charity. Beginner's mind. Okay, do you know what your sitting is going to be like next time you sit? Tonight, tomorrow, next week? What's going to happen? Do you know? Do you know? You know what's going to happen when you walk out that door? Do you really know? I mean, you can imagine it, but do you really know what the touch of air is going to be like? What the sight of the trees is going to be like? Are you open to the moment that we'll see it new? That's beginner's mind. Our Zazen needs to cultivate that, to open to that. Non-gaining mind, beginner's mind. The third aspect of the Zen meditation mind that Roshi talked about is called big mind. There's big mind and small mind. What's the difference between the two? It's real simple. Small mind thinks about things. Thinks about things, what do I think about this? Ooh, nice. I like it. I don't like it. Small mind divides into like and dislike according to my preferences. Big mind just sees it, just observes it without judgment. Okay? Big mind is non-judgmental awareness. Small mind is liking and disliking awareness. You want your zazen to be based on big mind, and on non-gaining mind, on beginner's mind. The fourth state of mind he mentioned with our zazen is called free mind. Free mind. Whatever happens during meditation, you're not limited by it. You're not defined by it. Angry thoughts, keep on breathing. Lovely, beautiful thoughts, keep on breathing. You're not defined by anything. Why? Because it doesn't last. That's why. It just doesn't last. So your mind is ultimately free. It's undefined by any state you will have. That means you're ultimately free. That's free mind. And finally, the fifth state of mind, the fifth quality of mind that our zazen, our shikantaza, opens us to is called faith mind. You know the faith mind? The whole reason we do this is because we have a deep faith in the nature of our mind as being clear, aware, sane, and open. That you can realize the nature of your mind. And the nature of your mind is Buddha, meaning that true awakening, that awakened mind. Right? It doesn't have to be a loud, upfront faith. Like, this is what I believe. You don't need to even articulate it. But it is the ground of our sitting. It is the ground of our practice. That faith is there anytime you sit it. You don't need to be conscious of it, but that's what you're manifesting. You're manifesting faith mind when you sit. Faith in what? In your mind. Okay? In your mind. Faith in Buddha. Faith in Buddha. Historical Buddha? No. Buddha mind. Okay? In your own mind. Beginner's mind. Non-gaining mind. Big mind. Free mind. Faith mind. And that is Zazen mind. That's our Zen meditation. So I really invite you to be generous, to give to yourself, first and foremost, that mind, that experience and that practice, because it'll make all the difference. We finish with the four great vows on page 7, which are recited 3 times. The great vows are the bodhisattva vows. And the bodhisattva is the enlightened being who commits to devote the practice to the benefit of all others. And that's what we do.